With the 2025 season coming to an end, let's look at every confirmed player signing to start at the beginning of the 2026 season. The video will be structured by each team, going over the players they will gain, lose, and the ones they have re-signed as well. I'll not be covering any off-contract or rumoured players. So let's start off with the Brisbane Broncos. The players they will be gaining are Grant Anderson from the Storm and Tom Duffy from the Cowboys. The players they will be losing are Selwyn Cobbo to the Dolphins, Jock Madden to the Tigers, Israel Leota to Rugby Union, Tyson Smoothie to Wakefield Trinity in the Super League, and Latrell Seagwell to the Bunnies. Now, for the players the club has re-signed, we have Cody Black, Jaden Hunt, Corey Jensen, Katoni Staggs, Adam Reynolds, Josiah Kurapani, Blake Moser, Corey Pakes, Hayes Perham, Josh Rogers, Ben Tolte, and Xavier Wilson. Next up, we have the Canberra Raiders, and the players they'll be gaining are Jaden Brayley from the Knights and Sione Finau to the Dragons. Now the players they'll be losing are Jamal Fogarty to Manly, Trey Mooney to the Knights, and Fasimi Solu also to the Knights. Now the re-signed players to the club are Zach Hosking, Noah Martin, Owen Paddy, Semi Sasagi, Xavier Savage, Tom Starling, Kyo Weeks, Sevilio Tamale, and the big man himself, Josh Papali'i. Josh was thought to be heading to the Super League next year, but just a few weeks ago, Canberra confirmed to be staying with the club. Now moving on to the Bulldogs. For the players they'll be gaining are Cade Dykes from the Sharks and Leo Thompson from the Knights. Now the club will be losing Reed Marnie to the Cowboys, Curtis Morin to the Titans, Toby Sexton to the Catalans Dragons in the Super League, Blake Taffy to the Castleford Tigers in the Super League as well. They will also be releasing Tom Amone and Ryan Sutton. Now for their re-signed players, they have Josh Curran, Harry Hayes, Brayley Haywood, Jacob Kiraz, Kurt Mann, Jamin Salmon, Jack Todd, Daniel Suluka Fafita, and Bronson Sherry. Now we move on to the Sharks. And currently they have no major player gains in their system, but the players they'll be losing consist of Daniel Atkins to the Dragons and Cade Dykes to the Bulldogs. As for the club's re-signed players, they have Blake Brayley, Billy Burns, Thomas Hazelton, Cameron McInnes, Ronaldo Mulatalo, Braden Trindle, Sam Stonestreet, Michael Gabriel, Tuku Hautupahua, KL Ero, Oregon Kafusi, Brinton Nakora, Teague Wilton, and Niwai Peru. Now, moving on to the Dolphins. The players they'll be gaining are Selwyn Cobbo from the Broncos, Morgan Knowles from St. Helens, Brad Schneider from the Panthers, and Sebastian Sewer from the Knights. Now for the players they'll be losing, there's Harrison Graham to the Knights, Peter Holler to the Knights, Josh Kerr to the Dragons, Junior Tupou to the Roosters, Mason Teague will be released, and Mark Nichols and Kenny Bronich will be retiring. As for the club's re-signed players, there's Kurt Donahue, Felice Kafusi, Max Plath, LJ Nonu, Connolly Lemalelu, and Tafida Nafahu. Now we move on to the Gold Coast Titans, and the players they'll be gaining are Curtis Morin from the Bulldogs. As for the ones they'll be losing, there's Josiah Paluhu to the Storm, Javin Andrews to the Tigers, Isaac Vasui Maliawi to the Catalans Dragons, and also Ken Maumalo will be released, and Kieran Foran is retiring. As for the players the club has re-signed, there's Jojo Fafita, Jalen DeGroot, Keanu Kinney, and Josh Paxton. Now we move on to the Manly Sea Eagles, and the players they'll be gaining are Jamal Fogarty from the Raiders. Now for the players they'll be losing, Jess Tafega to Wakefield Trinity, Tufoafo Sipley to the Warrington Wolves, Dean Madison to Super 13 in France. A2C James will be released. Now for the players the clubs have re-signed, there's Ethan Bullimore, Corey Wadle, Onatoni Large, and Clayton Fowlerlow. Now we move on to the Melbourne Storm, and once again, there are no major player gains for next season. As for the players they are losing, there's Grant Anderson to the Broncos, and Bronson Garlick to the Rabbitohs. As for their re-signed players, there's Xavier Coates, Harry Grant, Jerome Hughes, Josh King, Brian Pappenhausen, Jonah Pizzette, and Trent Liero. Now, moving on to the New Zealand Warriors. The players they'll be gaining include Morgan Gannon from Leeds Rhinos, Jay Lenine from the Knights, and Hazen Millars from the Rabbitohs. Now for the players they'll be losing is Edward Cossey to the Rabbitohs, and Malgram Tafua also to the Rabbitohs. Now for their re-signed players, there's Chance Nickel-Klokstad, Lika Halasima, Jackson Ford, Tamari Martin, Adam Pompey, Jacob Laban, Tanner Stower-Smith, Tane Tuapiki, and Dimitri Vea-Mauga. Now for the Newcastle Knights. The players they'll be gaining include Dylan Brown from the Eels, Peter Holler from the Dolphins, Trey Mooney from the Raiders, Simi Solo from the Raiders, and Asu Kapoa from the Panthers. As for the players they'll be losing, there's Jake Arthur to Hull FC, Jaden Brayley to the Raiders, Paul Bryan to Manly, Riley Jones to the Sharks, Kai Pearce-Paul to the Tigers, Sebastian Sewer to the Dolphins, Leo Thompson to the Bulldogs, Jai Lenane to the Warriors, and Brock Greason to the Castleford Tigers. As for their re-signed players, there's Matt Croker, Phoenix Crossland, Tyson Frizzell, Dane Gagai, Fletcher Hunt, Brodie Jones, Fletcher Sharp, and Elijah Salesa Leo Moana. Now moving on to the Cowboys, and the players they'll be gaining are Reed Marnie from the Bulldogs. Now for their lost players, there's Tom Duffy to the Broncos, Reece Robson to the Roosters, Semi Bellamy to the Castleford Tigers, and Jordan McLean will be retiring. As for their re-signed players, there's Braden Burns, Tom Chester, Jake Clifford, Robert Derby, Zach Labert, and Viliami Valia. Next up we have the Eels, and the players they'll be gaining are Jack DeBellin from the Dragons. As for their lost players, there's Dylan Brown to the Knights, Matthew Hunter to the Knights, Joe Ofahengu to the Lee Leopards, Bryce Cartwright will be released, and Sean Lane has retired. Now for their re-signed players, there's Josh Adokar, Brandon Hands, Luca Moretti, Mitchell Moses, Josiah Papali'i, Will Penasini, Sean Russell, Jordan Samrani, Riley Smith, Ronald Volkman, Sam Tuivati, Kalema Tuilagi, Katoni Katurga, and Tony Matelli. Now onto the Panthers, and they're another club that have no confirmed major player gains. As for the players they'll be losing, there's Maverick Guy to the Tigers, Asuka Powell to the Knights, Brad Schneider to the Dolphins, and Zach Lipowicz to the Catalans Dragons. As for their re-signed players, there's Paul Adamodi. Now for the Rabbitohs. The players they'll be gaining are Bronson Garlick from the Storm, Jonah Glover from the Dragons, Edward Cossey from the Warriors, and Malao Graham Tafua from the Warriors as well. Now for their lost players, there's Jaden Sullivan from the Tigers, Makeli Ravalawa to the Castleford Tigers, Hazen Mellors to the Warriors, and Jerome Burns will be retiring. Now for their re-signed players, there's Tallis Duncan, Lachlan Hubner, Alex Johnston, Liam LeBlanc, Tyrone Munro, and Cody Walker. Next up we have the Dragons. And the players they'll be gaining are Josh Kerr from the Dolphins and Daniel Atkins from the Sharks. As for their lost players, Jack DeBellin to the Eels, Sione Whenua to the Raiders, Jonah Glover to the Rabbitohs, Whenui Latu to the Bulldogs, Francis Molo to the Dolphins, and Tom Eisenhuth and Baird Murdoch Masilla will be retiring. Now for their re-signed players, Ryan Couchman, Toby Couchman, Dylan Egan, Kyle Flanagan, Jacob Hallinger, Nathan Lawson, Jacob Little, Loka Pacifici Tonga, Lycan King Togi, Jacob Halanga, Nick Sagrani, and Christian Tui Pilotu. Now we move on to the Roosters, and the players they'll be gaining are Reece Robson from the Cowboys. Next up for their losses, there's Ethan Roberts to the Tigers, and Chad Townsend has retired. Now for their re-signed players, there's Toby Rodwell, Tom Rodwell, James Tedesco, Sam Walker, Nafua White, Egan Butcher, Taylor Lasalu, and Rex Bassingway. And now we have the West Tigers. And the players they'll be gaining are Jock Madden from the Broncos, Maverick Guy from the Panthers, Kai Pearce-Paul from the Knights, and Jaden Sullivan from the Bunnies. The players they'll be losing are Talon De Silva to the Eels, Solomona Fatapi to the Catalans Dragons, and Charlie Staines to the Catalans Dragons. And for their re-signed players, there's Adam Dewey, Tristan Hope, Api Coruscant, Heath Mason, Taylor May, Stafford Toa, Tony Suka, Alex Seyfarth, and Fanua Pole. Now that's every confirmed signing so far from the 2026 season. Let me know in the comments which club will have the biggest impact from these player movements. And if you made it this far, consider subscribing. Less than 5% of my viewers have subscribed. It's free and it helps out the channel. Thanks for watching.